this match. One fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first from Scotland.
And Abdullah the Butcher not even waiting for introductions. Bruce Tharp beat a hasty exit, and it is Abdullah the Butcher hurdling. He has got young Scott McGhee outside the ring, smashed him into a ring post, and it's Abdullah the Butcher just gone berserk here. He's got Scott McGhee smashing him against the ring post outside. McGhee has had no chance at all to move against Abdullah the Butcher. The bell never rang, the introductions were never made. The wild man from the Sudan just completely went berserk here as he went after Scott McGhee. And Scott McGhee smashed into our desk here, and Scott McGhee hurtled to the concrete once again, and McGhee in a lot of trouble, as Abdullah the Butcher. And this is the thing about the man. He is almost, and one could almost say completely uncontrollable. He, as I've said before many times, seems totally impervious to pain. Scott McGhee, badly lacerated, but still a great courage, great fighting heart. McGhee gamely making his way back toward the ring. And I'm afraid, buddy, that this situation for Scott McGhee, I don't know if the man's ever going to make it back to the ring.
Well, if Scott McGhee had half a chance, he might have really, or he could have very well possibly defeated Abdullah Butcher, because, of course, Scott McGhee is a former heavyweight champion, but he just didn't have a chance from the beginning. The Butcher attacked him from the rear and just stayed on him. He's trying to annihilate this man. This is just, it's going too far. Scott McGhee hasn't had a chance. Abdullah the Butcher is wanting to inflict pain. He's just chewing on his head like some kind of a savage animal. The man is, like you said, is uncontrollable.
McGhee fires the midsection. McGee catches him again with a bolo-like forearm. It's McGee exploding on Abdullah the Butcher. And, brother, you talk about a mad little Scotsman. This fellow is. It's McGee exploding all over Abdullah the Butcher. This Florida heavyweight champion, former champion with a great fighting art. Got him with a beautiful flying drop kick. He's got Abdullah the Butcher down. He's got the Butcher down. It's Scott McGee setting his man. And watch McGee as he goes outside the ring. Brother, you talk about bombs away. They're coming here. Scott McGee poised on the top of the... Abdullah the Butcher rolled partially out of the way, and McGee ended up coming down on the back of his head and his shoulders, and it is Abdullah the Butcher pounding away at Scott McGee. Scott McGee, dazed, stunned, coming off of that rope, and it's Abdullah the Butcher. Down across him. He's got the 3 count. He's got the 3 count. Buddy, I want to get to ringside and talk to Mr. Holliday about this.
Well, you know, Scott McGhee, being a former heavyweight champion of Florida, this is quite a wrestler, and what Abdullah the Butcher did to Scott McGhee, he's still in there. He still has his forearm across the throat. It's just incomprehensible to see a man act this way in professional wrestling. It looks like the referee and Jim Holliday are trying to get this man under control, if he can be brought under control. Now let's go to Gordon Stoley at ringside.
Well, all I can say is that I trust that you have this man completely under control, Mr. Holliday.
I have everything under control here, and every day is a holiday from now on out. I want you to look at here. $10,000. The most devastating, most awesome force to ever step into a wrestling ring. Look at here. Let's get this camera in here. $10,000 cash to any man who can pin the shoulders of this gentleman here. Now, you just saw what happened to your ex-champion here, your ex-Florida heavyweight champion. What happened, huh? Look at him over here. He can't even get up. This is what's going to happen to any man who steps in the ring with the wildest, craziest, most insane man who ever mauled anybody who ever stepped in a wrestling ring. $10,000 to any man who can pin the shoulders of this vicious animal to the mat.
Well, Scott McGhee has been is being removed from the ring at this time. Stretcher has been brought out, and Scott McGhee being taken now to receive medical aid. And this man, Abdullah the Butcher, Well, frankly, I don't know what else to say about him except that, Mr. Dillon, this is...
Malafita, this is a very, very proud moment for me. When I look at this magnificent individual, I remember back to Manila in the Philippines. I remember back to Jakarta. I remember back to Sydney, Australia. Malafita, I remember back to all the exotic countries in the world where this man struck terror. This is my black specimen. Well, actually, his black specimen, one of the most awesome forces that professional wrestling has ever known. He has terrified every arena in the world. There is not a man, hey, Malafita. There is not a man who could stand up to him. And for Mr. Holliday to take this incredible sum of $10,000 to anybody that can pin his shoulders, that money's as good as in the bank, drawing compound interest, because there's not a man in wrestling that can hold this force down. Nobody can touch him. Scott McGhee, Florida champion, magnificent athlete, undefeated on television. Today, the strongest challenge that could possibly be thrown at the black specimen, and he was there to stand up to the challenge. And this is only the first step, because I feel so good about what Jim Holliday has done, and he is going to take this man to heights unknown before. So the family, take notice. Blackjack Mulligan, you've been pushing people around for too long. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, you've been pushing people too long. Angelo Mosca, anybody else that wants to step forward, gentlemen, Jim Holliday has the black specimen.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think we've had quite enough of this. We'll be back with another match in just a moment.